Hey guys, MotorCarNut here, and today we're talking brakes, warning signs that your brakes are unsafe. All right, I compiled a list of 7, and we're gonna go over them. The number 1 is a grinding or a squealing noise. All right, I'm gonna tell you what they are, and then we'll go into depth of which one would they can possibly be on your vehicle. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 is a burning smell. Brakes heat up, they smell like a clutch. You know, when you're wearing out a clutch, you guys with the manuals will probably know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, you probably know what brakes smell, heating up and really hot, that burning smell. Number 3 would be a soft brake pedal, softer than normal. That's dangerous. A vibration when you're pushing the brake, or a pulsate. In other words, you press the brakes and they pulsate. All right. Number 5 is either brake light or the ABS light is on inside the car. Okay, number 6 would be pulling to one side. You hit the brakes and the car wants to pull from one side to the other. And number 7 will be leaking brake fluid. It's a clear brake fluid. Most of you guys probably know what it smells like. If not, if you see any kind of a clear fluid leaking, you're having a braking issue, that's dangerous. All right, those are the top 7. So we'll get back into number 1 is grinding or squealing. Well, grinding, when you hit the brakes, it can mean that the brake pad is actually almost gone, and it's hitting the backing plate of the brake itself, the brake pad. It has a metal brake pad with the pad glued to it. And if that wears all the way down to metal, that can be your grinding noise. The squealing noise can be that the brake pad itself, we got the backing plate, you have the brake pad material, and off to the side you'll have like a little steel piece of metal that hangs out. And what that does is as the brakes wear down, all right, when they wear to an unsafe limit, that metal piece will rub against your steel rotor, and you'll hear that high-pitched squeaking sound. And that means you have to replace your brakes. You shouldn't let it get that low. Newer cars have sensors that put on the warning light, which I was just talking about. That's another sign. Is the ABS lights on or the brake lights on? That is like a sensor instead of and a squealer. It depends which type of car you have, but either one of those has to be checked out. All right. So those are the top reasons for the grinding and squealing when you're hitting the brakes. We're talking about brakes. We're not talking about nothing else. The burning smell could be that you have a caliper that's hanging up. It's not releasing properly. Maybe it has to be lubed. Maybe it's partially seized. Maybe it's the brake line. I have videos on frozen calipers, and sometimes it's not the caliper, it's the brake line. I'll link those in the video so you can have those, give those a look at. All right. And basically, the smelling is something is dragging. What's making it dragging? Like I said, it could be a number of things, but usually something is when you hit the brakes, the caliper is not releasing. All right, so that'll give you a burning smell if you smell that. It's usually going to probably only happen on one side, but you never know. Both fronts can go, but usually it's only one side at a time when you smell the burning. A soft brake pedal can result from that same burning that's heating up the brake fluid so much it could create air inside the system. It could actually boil the system. It depends how bad it is, okay? But it can boil that system, create air, and you're going to have a spongy pedal. Another reason for a spongy pedal is there's a leak somewhere. You can have a rotted line that's leaking, or it's rusted and it's leaking just very, very slightly, and you don't really notice it yet, only the soft pedal. And the soft pedal is because there's air in the system or contamination in the system. Okay? Now, vibration when braking. See, they're all related or they cannot be related. It all depends. The vibration means that the rotors are warped already. And what makes rotors warp? From being overheated. What makes them overheated? Well, the pads are sticking. All right? They're not releasing. They're heating up the rotor and warping it. So you could probably feel that in the steering wheel when you're driving without hitting the brakes. But when you hit the brakes and the steering wheel starts to shake, all right, then you know that the rotors are already warped and have to be replaced. You do not resurface them because you think about it. Resurfacing rotors that are warped, what do? They take off more material. So they're going to warp even faster because they're thinner. All right. And nowadays you can get aftermarket rotors brand new, very cheap. So do not resurface the rotors. Okay. And again, the ABS light on or the brake light on, what I just told you, the reason for that can be the sensors, the pad wear sensors, depending on your vehicle, where it has them, or you're low on brake fluid, that you have a brake light that comes on. All of these have to be checked out. They can be very, very serious. All right. Pulling to one side of another. That's another issue. You could have a bad wheel alignment, but most of the time, if your wheel is like you let go of the brake, let go of the steering wheel, and pretty much the car tracks straight, and you hit the brakes and it wants to pull from one side to the other, that means one of the calipers is not doing its job, or it's doing too good of a job. In other words, one caliper is doing its job actually, and another one is like not really. It could be partially frozen, or the sliders can be rotted, or they're not moving freely, so it just grabs a little, and the side that grabs a lot is going to pull let's say if it's the right side, it's going to pull the car to the right. Or if it's the left side that's working good, it's going to pull the car to the left. All right, that has to be taken care of. That's a dangerous situation, especially in the rain or in sleet and snow. When you hit the brakes, the car could spin around, regardless if you have ABS brakes or not. All right, and leaking fluid, that one is an obvious one, but you may not. You have to look for it if you're having braking problems. All right, then now the fluid usually could be from all four corners of the car, but there's brake lines all underneath the car. There's master cylinders, there's ABS units. So, it can leak from anywhere, but, if you give a visual underneath your car near your wheels, all four wheels, and they're dry, and, sometimes you could smell brake. I can smell it, but most people can't. But if you know what brake fluid smells like, you'll smell around near the ABS, near the master cylinder, and you can see if you have any fluid leaking. All right, it's kind of rare. If fluid leaking, well, it's not rare, but it can happen, especially on older cars where the brakes are not maintained, and you can have those issues. All right, so those are basically the top 7. Of course, guys, you have a problem with your specific car, you always can send me a message. I answer all my messages. You guys know that, and can get you guys on your way. Don't play around with brakes. That's a safety issue, and everybody. It's more important than a car misfiring or a car whatever is not running right. Brakes are important. Health first, right? Safety first. All right, guys. MotorCarNut, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Any questions pertaining to the video, leave them below. I answer all my questions. Try to help everybody out as much as I can from the distance. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you.